Greetings, GameCola faithful, and welcome to the GameCola podcast. This is podcast number 168, and boy howdy, am I feeling great. I am your host and podcast commander, Joseph Martin, joined by...
And Bryniarski, I'm here, and at the front of the line with my A-B initials.
I'm Blu Ryder, and I'm second in line.
I'm Leaf or Dan, and either way, I am third in line. Or Dana. I think I'm not supposed to go by Dan because we have too many of those.
You could go by, sometimes it helps to clarify.
I'm Leaf, Dana, and Dan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Paul Franzen, and it took me so long to figure out that Leaf and Dana were the same person. So long.
That's because we're not. We're just gaslighting you.
That makes it even more confusing. Don't do this to me.
How many people at GameCola? First of all, everybody say hi. Paul Franzen, editor emeritus of
Hi, Paul.
GameCola.net.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah.
Hi, Paul.
I will not.
Thank you for joining us right after recording your other podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, a podcast.
Thank you.
There's an exclamation mark in there, but
I'm
you
happy
have
to
to
be
figure it out.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for allowing me to join and talk about video games.
Why do you make it sound like I'm forcing you to say that you're happy to be here?
Sorry. I'm a little loopy. This is a lot of podcast for me in one day.
The other thing I was going to say is that, Paul, I don't know, maybe you haven't picked up on this, but I feel like most people at GameCola now are at least two people.
What?
Like, we just...
You've got Joseph Martin and Martin Joseph, plus others. You've got Leaf and Dan and Dana.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, John Rizzi and Nathan Rizzi to form John Nathan Rizzi.
Wait, what? Who is Nathan Rizzi? What is this?
This is what I'm talking about. You've been out of the loop.
Is that Sax Dude?
And then, of course, you've got Alexander Jedrzak and Jetty Jedrzak.
Yep. Anna Bryniarski and Brana Minarski. Yep, I know. I've been paying attention.
Blu Ryder, Red Ryder.
It was Red Passenger, thank you.
Red Passenger, that's what it was.
Passenger.
So welcome to this episode of the GameCola podcast. We've got a big cast for this cast, I would say. And we're here to talk today about videos and games together as one. Some might even call them video games.
Make sure you vote in our awards, even though this will come out after.
Yes, we're all getting ready for the GameCola Awards, which will... You can't vote, but I think they won't have happened by the time this podcast goes out, but look forward to it. But the biggest gaming news, even bigger, I know it's hard to believe, but even bigger than GameCola's Video Game Awards is Mario can turn into an elephant.
Yes!
Please discuss.
Finally! I've been waiting so long for him to turn into an elephant.
We got Cat Mario, and they're like, okay, we need something bigger.
And it's the one animal bigger than a cat.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's great.
Well, there's whales. Next game will be
There's
a whale.
whales. Okay.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm personally excited because the only Mario games I truly enjoy are the multiplayer co-op games where I can cause problems for everyone else I'm playing with. So, I mean, I liked Mario, whatever the last one was on Switch. It was fine. It had a world that made me throw up a lot whenever I played it, but that's okay. But I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I liked the new Super Mario... Like, I know people gave the new Super Mario Brothers series a lot of grief, partly from the name, but also, like, it's all too samey, but, like, I don't know, like, they were definitely more similar than a lot of other Mario games, but between the two handheld games and the two console games, I feel like there was a decent variety for that one, like, little package of, like, 4 games that sort of fell under that umbrella.
Yeah, the portable one let you throw gold bombs at people.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But then we were in, like, the Mario Maker era for a while.
Yeah. And so, like, ever since around then, I'd say, there's sort of been, like, an unspoken question of if they go back to, like, a regular 2D Mario game, would it be any good? Because we've got Mario Maker, which is just, like, infinite Mario, any Mario game you can think of. And also, there's, like, Mario Odyssey now. And that's, like, a completely different step forward. So, like, is there a point of them going back? And maybe that was all just me, but that's how it seemed to me for a while.
And we also had 3D World and 3D Land, not in that order,
Yeah.
but which seemed like they were trying to be sort of the continuation of
Yeah, exactly.
what we would have previously called 2D Mario, where it's like you've got a start point, you've got an end point with a flagpole, and you're trying to get there, and there's stuff along the way. And it felt like that was where they were just sort of taking it. Almost like part of it's like that's, you know, in Super Mario Maker 2, they made the Super Mario 3D World one of the 2D sections. They turned it into a 2D game so that they could put it in Mario Maker.
Right.
But then it was just like, so is that what it was going to be? But now we have Super Mario Wonder, which was announced in the recent Nintendo Direct, which seems to be at least trying to take it stylistically in a very different direction.
Honestly, like, any doubts I had are pretty much gone, 'cause just from, like, the little details, like the little animation for, like, the little comic book explosion pop-up that comes when he picks up a mushroom, or, like, going into a pipe and, like, grabbing his hat that he accidentally left behind. All these, like, tiny things really make it feel fresh, and that's not even, like, talking about the new big stuff. So
Was there a long Mario that you can turn into? Am I remembering that correctly for the trailer, or is that something I made up? Yeah, long Mario. I'm excited about long Mario. He's been not long for too long.
It feels almost... yeah, and not long Mario is illegal now. It feels kind of like... Sort of like, it maybe a tenuous relationship, but like, you know how in Super Mario Brothers 2, you go, you know, you throw the potion down, you go through a door, and then you are in, like, the shadow world. It kind of felt like, he's like, you pick up a power-up that takes you to a shadow world, but there's some unique thing that happens there. So, like, I don't know if Mario's going to be long more than once. I think there may just be a section of one level where the gimmick is that you can become long Mario. And then there's another one where everybody turns into balls. And there's another one where the pipes, like, inch along like inchworms and stuff like that.
Having not seen the trailer, is long Mario like tall Mario, or is it like Caterpillar Mario?
Long Mario is Mario, but with a stretched torso vertically.
We can't tell because it's in the drug shadow realm thing, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, so
we're not sure how
there
it
could be
works,
anything
but
going
things
on.
get weird.
What would Caterpillar Mario look like, though? It's now what I'm trying to picture.
I'm sure we'll find out when they go smaller than cat direction.
It sounds like
one animal
it would be...
smaller than a cat is a caterpillar, even though the name would imply otherwise.
Very true. I would imagine Caterpillar Mario to be what I'm now imagining tall or long Mario to be, but sliding around more on his belly, but not on his belly because then he'd be Snake Mario.
Okay, I can see. I was picturing him kind of like bent over at the waist, and then his head was just like but that would more be like long neck Mario. That's not the same thing as long Mario. That's a totally different character.
All right, I'm reading the energy of the podcast, and I've decided that this is the energy that we have. Everybody gets one animal that they can suggest, one animal power up for Mario to turn into in the next game. What's your pitch? And in the comments of this podcast or on the GameCola Discord, tell us which animal you think is the best Mario animal suggested, or tell us your own that's better than everybody's suggestions. We'll go in reverse order. So, Paul first.
I mean, my instinct is to go with my favorite animal, which is the turtle. But I feel like that really brings into mind some difficult philosophical questions. Yeah, exactly. Like that becomes sort of
the blue.
Oh, that's true. He has done that before, and then he would be fighting other turtles anyway, which is like There's there's some issues there. Okay. Capybara Mario then. My final answer.
Okay. What does Capybara Mario do?
I mean, it has to do something. It can swim and go on land. Like, I guess it's kind of like Frogs. It's kind of like Frog Suit Mario, except it's not as bad on land as Frog Suit Mario. How about that? I mean, maybe it's a little slower on land, but
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dana Danleaf.
All right. My pitch is Anteater Mario, and when you are playing in this form, you are playing as his nose, reaching into small spaces, maybe to pick locks, maybe to kill the little mushroom dude. Sorry, not kill Squish. Maybe to knock some turtle shells around to pick locks. I see a lot of possibilities here. New type of gameplay.
And it's interesting that you suggested this Anteater Mario, and you did not suggest an ability where he eats the ant enemies.
Well, see, that would be because I don't play many Mario games and did not know that there were ant enemies.
Let's say,
but that would be the second power. Is it just wins against ants? Like it doesn't have to jump on them or whatever.
Yeah, it's like an
you
invincibility star, but just
but just for
only
ants.
for ants. I wish I was invincible, but just for ants.
Or perhaps when encountering an ant, Mario becomes very large to match the scale of the ant to an anteater.
Yeah. I hate when I step too close to an ant and suddenly become half my size.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It's really
now I have to
really
resist suggesting Ant Mario.
I'd like to suggest Ant-Man Mario.
What's your suggestion?
Yeah.
We already have the mini mushroom and the mega mushroom, so we basically have Ant-Man Mario.
But we don't have Anteater Mario. Just saying.
I'd like to suggest Ant-Eater Man Mario. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry.
Ant-Man's biggest nemesis is Anteater Man.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure there's a comic where someone's tried that. Surely.
It doesn't sound familiar.
Yes, Blue's encyclopedic knowledge of all things superhero comic. No Anteater Man in there?
Usually when you're like, hey, has this happened in comics? The answer is yes, somewhere, at some point.
Yeah.
But, that one does not sound familiar.
It's kind of a mouthful, which I guess probably doesn't always stop superheroes.
Yeah, that does not matter at all. Arm fall off boy is...
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Right, you stalled long enough.
I was going to suggest a Phoenix Mario. So it's like the cape where you get to fly around, and the fire flower where you throw fireballs too, and also you come back after you die. It's a permanent upgrade, sort of. You grow, and then you can get hit and shrink, but you still have it, and then you get hit again, and it brings you back to life without it. And this one is like a special post-unlock, or a post-game unlock. You have to beat the game on normal mode to...
See, I was thinking that it was like the golden Tanuki suit, where it's just like a thing that they give to you when you're bad at the video game.
And maybe that too. I don't know.
Oh no, I forgot about that.
All right, Anna?
So my only two options were cat, which is already a thing, and unicorn, but that's only because those are the two little stuffed animals I have on my desk, and also I like unicorns.
I like that. I mean, I was thinking, to hijack your answer, I was thinking, right before you spoke, Horse Mario, for reasons that we'll probably get into later. But,
right.
But I'm picturing it like that really weird app, My Boyfriend the Horse or whatever.
Oh my
That's
god.
not what it's called.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it's just the horse body with the human face. That's what Mario would become. And I don't have any powers, but he'd be fun to look at.
Fun is
That could probably be the
thing
podcast
you
thumbnail.
can say about
That could
that.
probably be the podcast thumbnail.
Oh my god. My boyfriend the horse.
Does Yoshi ride
My
on horse
boyfriend
Mario?
Mario the horse. My Mario boyfriend the horse.
My Mario boyfriend, the horse, yes.
Yeah, there's a good podcast title in there
Beautiful.
somewhere too.
But yeah, those were the only two that I could think of because my mind went blank and I forgot every other animal.
I think it's brilliant.
Thank you.
All right. Well, you've heard everybody's suggestions. Vote in the comments. Who had the best animal suggestion, or what's your best animal suggestion? One more thing about Mario Wonder is that I feel like we can't go on without discussing is they finally are acknowledging the long ignored Daisy is a playable character.
Yeah, that was
in
one
Mario
of
Wonder.
their 3 selling points.
Yes.
Is this a joke of like saying they don't have any selling points basically, or did they literally put up a list of 3
That
selling
is
points?
that was their second selling point. They had
Okay.
like 3 here's the thing that it makes this game so cool, and here's why you should buy it. And the second one was, it has Daisy.
I guess
Which, I get, it's kind of funny, but also, Daisy has not been in, a non-spin-off-y game since, Super Mario Land, and even that is kind of tenuous on where it sits on the main Mario, spin-off Mario sort of spectrum.
does Daisy have lore beyond just being like Luigi's Peach, or what? Like, is that even what she is?
Even being Luigi's Peach is, very tenuous lore.
Okay.
That's isn't that fan theory? Fanon?
Is
that actually in the games?
It is only perpetuated, I think, in one Mario Kart track where there's a statue of them dancing together, and a few names that they have in Mario Party games where you team up and the characters have names. It'll be the perfect couple or something, or bitter rivals if it's Mario and a villain or something. And I don't know, I think the Luigi and Daisy one has something vaguely romantic, but it's such a tenuous thing, and it's literally just, there's Mario's in love with the princess, so Luigi must be in love with the other princess. That's pretty much it. But Daisy was originally the princess in Super Mario Land that Mario would save, but that was the Game Boy one. But after that, then she would just show up in party games as basically, it kind of felt like, oh, we need another female character.
That isn't a mushroom.
So we'll use that isn't a mushroom or a dinosaur. Actually, I don't know if they've used Daisy or Birdo first. I think Daisy first showed up in kind of what we would consider her current form in Mario Golf or Mario Tennis, probably around whenever Waluigi showed up.
So she's originally a spin-off character.
Kind of. Super Mario Land is weird. I mean, Paul, how did it feel? You're old enough that
Okay.
you were around when Super Mario Land came out, right?
I don't think I ever got far enough in the game to discover that there was, in fact, a Daisy. So I don't know that that's very helpful.
You didn't even run into any of the fake daisies, because they did the same thing
The
where you'd
what?
show up and it'd be like, you would, okay, in the original Mario,
okay.
you had the toad saying the princess is in another castle. In Mario Land, you'd show up and Mario would be like, oh, Daisy, and then Daisy would turn into a bug or something.
I don't think I really even
And
played
you'd be
the
like,
original.
"Oop, no, that wasn't actually Daisy.
I didn't play the original New Super Mario. Sorry, gosh. I didn't play the original Super Mario Land all that much. I think I was more into Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. So I don't have the only even real memory I have of the original Mario Land is the weird black orbs that you throw at things that I'm not sure if they were supposed to be fireballs or what, but they acted more like bouncy balls.
They're super balls.
They're super balls. Okay, so they
They're
are
super
bouncy balls. Okay, cool.
Yes, because they're in Mario Maker 2. But okay. So then, when did you first become aware of Daisy?
I'm pretty sure just when I think she debuted, like you were saying, in the N64 sports games, tennis, golf, somewhere in that era.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't think she existed anywhere between Mario Land and that, to my knowledge.
Yeah, or it would have been just in maybe in there
Yeah.
was a lot of weird Mario external media.
Oh, I mean, if she was in Mario is Missing, I would know about that for sure. much more than I would know about her appearance in Mario Land. No, I think you're exactly right. I think it was that they needed another female character that as Leaf pointed out, was not a mushroom.
Do they have any characters of color in Mario that are not non-human beings?
Daisy sometimes gets it's questionable. On certain interpretations, it seems like maybe that's what they're going for. But how many human characters are there?
That's what I was just gonna say too. Like, if we're only looking at specifically the
There's
Mario
like
series and not
5.
like Nintendo in general, there's not that many humans.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. There's Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Rosalina, Wario, Waluigi.
That's more than I would have thought, actually.
Is Peach Italian?
Peach is Italian.
So Peach, Luigi, and Mario are all Italian.
Okay, I was going to say no, just Peach was Italian, is what you were thinking.
No.
Of all the characters, Peach is the Italian one.
Yeah.
What makes you think Peach is Italian?
I just am asking who is Italian.
I mean, Peach originates from the Mushroom Kingdom, so I don't know that Italy exists in the Mushroom Kingdom. Yeah.
So she's
right.
Mushronian.
Exactly.
And Mario and Luigi being Italian is also, like, kind of depends on what canon you're referring to, because I think you've got, like, the Mario movie canon, where it's like, they are Brooklynites of an Italian family.
I see.
And I think, though, in other games, like, like Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, right? Where, like, Baby Mario and Baby Luigi have just been there the whole time. Where I think it's more like they just sound like that. And to be fair, in a lot of the Mario RPGs, characters talk in affectations that would not exist in I'm pretty sure there's French people in Mario RPGs, and there's not France in Mario World.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were definitely considered Italian plumbers from Brooklyn, at least as far back as the cartoon. I don't know if they were, like, does it say in the Super Mario Brothers instruction booklet or something? I don't know where the Brooklyn thing even originated from. Because my guess would be that it was more of an American localization thing that somebody added along the way. That would make more sense to me.
That would make sense.
But I don't know for sure.
So either Brooklyn/Italy exist in the same universe as the Mushroom Kingdom, or Mario and Luigi at some point went to an alternate dimension with the Mushroom Kingdom and all other things.
Those are the two interpretations of canon. And the latter has kind of fallen... Mario and Luigi going to the Mushroom Kingdom and being from the quote-unquote real world, only the movie has really addressed that since, like, the 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would say between the 1990s and the Mario movie, it was just... The assumption was kind of that Mario... That idea of Mario is just, like, a localization thing that came into, like, American products, but that wasn't really part of the original Mario canon. But now with the movie, I don't understand what the relationship with that narrative is anymore. Like, when it comes to the games. I'm a little lost, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to satisfactorily answer your question.
No, I'm satisfied.
Like, you think the Legend of Zelda timeline is complicated.
I mean, I kind of do, but also, like, at least they've laid it out, you know? It might be, like, mostly nonsense, malarkey, some might say, but at least they've decided to lay it out for us for whatever reason. Wasn't that just, like, to promote Skyward Sword or something?
Right. Like, I believe it was, like, the main takeaway is just, like, oh, Skyward Sword is supposed to take place before all the other Zelda games.
Yeah.
I think that was really all you people, and that Ocarina of Time is important. Those are the two things.
Well, I think we all already knew that Ocarina of Time is important.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess
I mean, it was all the internet could talk about when I first started getting on the internet to see what people said about video games. It was all people could talk about was how good Ocarina of Time was.
Yeah.
That was all they would talk about.
Tears of the Kingdom.
From
yeah. True.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what people will feel about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It's just gonna be Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask all over again, where we're gonna get like 10, 20 years from now, people are gonna be like, man, why did they go so crazy over this game? There's so many problems with it. And be like, you don't understand. It was like you were really there.
You don't understand. You didn't have
You
to
could go
live through
anywhere.
Skyward Sword.
Okay. Well, we've spent a lot of time talking about Mario and his various antics, including being a horse. Speaking of,
How?
Horses?
yes,
They say nay.
They sure do.
they do that. I think you may have had something else that you wanted to talk about related to horses on this podcast.
Yeah, so Anna and I both want to talk about the fact that Sims 4 has a horse expansion coming out, having neither of us watched the ad for it.
Nope. We just know there are horses coming.
We
So
just
it's
know there
like
are
the
horses
first
coming.
time that you're both here to talk about The Sims at the same time.
Yay!
We're
And
woefully
you didn't even do your
unprepared.
homework.
I tried. I had stuff happening today.
I did not
We
try.
don't have to get into that because that is outside of the scope of this podcast. Anna did not try. I tried.
How long is this trailer?
So what do you...
This horse announcing trailer?
Oh, probably 2 minutes.
Okay.
But I mean, usually when I do my research into Sims things coming up, I watch the trailer and then I watch a few notable Sim creators do their review of the trailer because they always catch things that I don't because they're intimately more familiar with the game. But this time I have done nothing but accidentally see a still photo of the trailer. So
Of a horse?
yeah, I vaguely know what the horse is going to look like.
Not even a horse in the game, just a picture of a horse, and you knew.
Oh,
They're
I
realistic
love this breaking
horses.
news that you saw a picture of a horse on the internet. This is good. This is good
I
stuff.
know. Oh gosh.
Sorry,
won't
I
talk
shouldn't
about
be
where
giving
my
you a
brain
hard.
went there.
Where do you think Sims is going to go with horses? What is the appeal of horses in a
I think
Sims
that
game?
Sims 4 is doing everything they can to get eyes back on Sims 4 so that they can announce Sims 5. And they're only creating Sims 5 because a bunch of other competitors started creating things to compete. And they realized that those are getting a lot of attention because there is, in fact, still an audience. But also, I think that something has happened within the Sims 4 team, and they do have a little bit more agency over what they're putting out. And people have been begging for horses. They've just been begging for them. And I understand that because in Sims 3 they were really good, but Sims 4 is not Sims 3. Sims 4 is a broken game.
It is. Not that Sims 3 is perfect, but also
No.
Sims 3 had an open world, which made it a lot more fun,
Yes.
as opposed to just kind of hanging out, doing the whole
Some
cutaway for going elsewhere.
some of the newer Sims 4 worlds, like the werewolf one, are kind of more open world vibe.
Yeah.
So I would guess they're introducing a new world with the horses because that's usually a big selling point with the packs these days. I also don't know if it's an expansion pack, a game pack. I'm sure it's not a stuff pack. Stuff packs can rot in hell.
Horses are stuff.
Horses are living beings. And
Living
cannot
beings
be owned.
can be stuffed.
No.
You can pack them with stuff, exactly.
No, then they're dead.
Yeah.
They would be dead at that point, Blue.
Isn't that
What?
British slang for pregnant? Or was I just misinformed
is-
as a child?
I thought it was Australian, but probably both misinformed because the world is
yeah.
evil. I do have an
Okay.
important question about these horses.
Ask away.
Will these horses have pronouns?
That's a great question.
It actually is.
Because
Probably not.
imagine
Because the
if they
dogs and cats
announced
don't.
horses during Pride Month and then they didn't let them have pronouns.
Did they announce them during Pride Month? Yeah, I guess they did.
Oh, also, do people's pronouns work yet?
Kind of. They work better.
Yeah, they're still a bit messed up.
Didn't this game come out like 10 years
It'll
ago?
be 10 years next September.
That's a long time.
To still have
is,
a
huh?
broken game? Yes.
I mean, that's also like it's a long time to have a broken game and not just make a new one,
Well,
right? Like
now they
taking
weren't
them
going
this
to.
long to get to
For a
5.
really long time, they weren't going to make 5 at all. Like Sims 4, I correct me if I'm wrong, Anna, if you know, but like I feel like when they announced Sims 4, they said this will be the last one.
I don't remember if
And
they said that.
there was definitely a point for a long time that they were saying that this is the last one, but I don't remember if it was announced with Sims 4 or if that announcement came later. And then they started they took like some of the top Sims gurus, which are the people that develop the game. They're called Sims gurus. They took like some of the top ones off of Sims 4, and everyone was like, what the heck? They put them on Project Oasis or something. That's not what it's called. And everyone was like, this is Sims 5. Like, you're trying to fool us, but we know that you're just creating a Sims 5. And that has since been confirmed that project whatever was Sims 5 and that they are in fact creating Sims 5. And I have no hopes for it because I feel like they're just doing it because games like Paralives, and there's another one that I'm forgetting the name of, started getting a lot of hype because they announced like, hey, look what we're going to do. We're going to do really cool stuff. We're going to use better technology than Sims does. And who knows, they might fail, but
We're going to have pronouns.
We're going to have pronouns, yeah. I mean, like, because I've been a Patreon supporter of Paralives basically since they've been announced. So I've gotten to kind of follow the whole development, and they seem to be doing a good job from my plebeian level knowledge. Like, they seem to generally be trying to create a good game, and you're using like adaptive programming. That's not what it's called.
Adaptive?
Maybe. Basically, like, because one of the things that people wanted in Sims 4 or Sims in general for a long time was for Sims to be able to be different heights, and that's not possible. So that was originally one of the big selling points of Paralives, was that the I think they've settled on the name Paras, are going to be able to be whatever height you want them to be, and they'll use whatever it is, adaptive programming or something, to be able to alter the animations kind of on the fly to fit the height scale of the paras. So I think that Sims 4 saw this and is like, oh, we could do that. We have a lot of money because we are a scam. And then they announced that they're going to do Sims 5.
I need you to back up. Sims can't be different heights?
No.
No. Never once.
There's never once. There's
of all the things you can do in that character creator.
No.
You can give someone with like minor hacks. You can give someone a nose larger than their head.
Yes.
But you cannot make them an inch taller or shorter, or it will break all the animations.
That's correct.
I think it makes sense. Height is traditionally one of the most challenging things in character creators. That's why you've never seen any other video game where you can alter a character's height before.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, it makes sense. It definitely, like, has made sense for a long time, but I do feel like we are at the point where it's possible, and it's obviously possible. And basically, like, Paralives has been releasing a lot of sample images of the paras that they can create, and they really are coming in all different shapes and sizes in a way that we've never been able to achieve with Sims 4. They also used whatever the programming technique is to create like a much more powerful build tool that has a lot of capabilities that Sims 4 kind of has now because they've updated the build tools a lot, but still beyond what Sims 4 is capable of. I'm just excited to see if they can path better than the Sims can.
Yeah.
Because pathing has never been the strong suit. Like, it's very funny to me. Like, in Sims 3, pathing, complete nightmare. And then in Sims 4, instead of like fixing it, they just made it so that Sims will walk through things sometimes. So at least they don't get stuck anymore.
Yeah.
But like you haven't really fixed it.
These seem like problems that have been solved for a long time in video games.
Yeah, Sims 4 is a bad game. Sims 3 like had issues, but they were issues that made sense based on the technology and time in which it was created.
Yeah.
And Sims 4 was just this giant step backwards in basically every single way. Like they literally they didn't have pools on release, I think. Like just they didn't have ghosts, they didn't have pools, they didn't have toddlers. Toddlers, I feel like a lot of people forget, are a relatively recent addition.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Like we're going back to Sims 2 had toddlers. Like it's insane that Sims 4 was released without toddlers. And now their life stages, in my opinion, are all sorts of screwed up because they were, kind of balanced on this scale of not having a toddler life stage, and now they have a toddler life stage. So like your Sims get really old, like kind of faster than you'd expect them to if they're the parent. Like it's just weird, and like it's just not good.
I didn't realize that until you said something, but yeah, I also felt that they were like getting way older, way faster.
Yeah, and it's because they slammed in an 8-day life cycle or lifespan, which feels very low. But Sims, I think it's something like babies for 3 days, toddlers for 8, child for 12, maybe, and then teens for 14, which makes no sense. Like you are not a teenager for most of your youth. Young adult for 20, adult for 20, elder for 20 to 30. It's something like that. And now if you try to like, especially if you have a sim that goes to college before they have a baby, it typically takes like the entire sim's young adulthood to go to college, which isn't necessarily inaccurate to real life. But then the adulthood is just as long as the young adulthood, which is not accurate to real life. So then you have an adult, and the adult has the baby, that's 3 days, has the toddler, that's another 8 days. By the time the toddler has turned into a child who's turned into a teenager, your adult sim is probably an elder.
So when they did this, did they just add the 8 days in?
Yes.
Or did they so they didn't like cut out some time from like the child and baby and give it to toddler? They just added an extra 8 days.
Correct.
This is a bad video game.
It's a bad video game.
Why have you guys played it for 10 years?
Here's my secret. I get it for free. I don't want to give them money.
But
I don't pirate it. I just have a friend who gives me their account.
But it's a bad game. Like,
I play it so that I can get mad and turn it off.
So we return to the theme of we don't actually like video games around here.
I loved Sims 2. I think whether you love Sims 2 or Sims 3 better depends entirely on which one you were raised with. But most people agree Sims 2 and Sims 3 best Sims games.
Some people had Sims 1.
Some people pick that one. But that one is just such a drastically different game, honestly. Like it's a good game. It really is, but it's such a different game. Like it's just such a different vibe. There's so much more stuff happening. It's a lot more closer to like along the lines of like 2 Point Hospital, 2 Point Campus, that kind of vibe. But like imagine that every simulated person in those games is at all times on the brink of death.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to do this because I'm not having fun, but I'm not allowed to have fun because I don't have enough of everything.
Yes,
so I guess I'll just die.
Also, to create baby, you kiss over and over again, just like real life.
Interesting.
You just keep kissing.
Just keep kissing.
I actually do like Sims 4 in a way that I started playing it, and then I kept playing it, and then I couldn't go back to Sims 3 because I got way too used to Sims 4.
It is
difficult to go back.
Unfortunate.
It was sad because I
really
liked Sims 3.
How hard have you tried to go back to Sims 3?
I've tried pretty hard. I just can't do it.
If you could go back in time and stop yourself from ever playing Sims 4, would you?
No.
No.
I'm having a good enough time.
I like to be able to rant about it.
I like having Nina here so that they can also say how bad it is.
Yeah. I like, it's just such a, like, Sims 2, Sims 3 are such a big part of my childhood. It just makes me so mad to see what Sims 4 has become and, like, continues to be. It's just a increasingly broken game.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, to be fair, my computer's not the best, but, like, one of the selling points when this Sims 4 was originally launched was we've made this Sims game more optimized than ever before so that you should be able to play it on a laptop. And that's just, I mean, it can't possibly be true anymore. There is, I believe, still a quote unquote laptop mode that you can trigger in the settings, but I doubt it actually fixes anything. I deeply apologize if there is a cat in the background of my recording that you can't edit out because I'm talking while she's meowing. Please stop.
She has some words about Sims 4.
She has, yeah. I do think that I prefer dogs and cats in The Sims 4 maybe to Sims 3, which is a bold statement since in Sims 3 you could actually control the pets.
Yeah, that's the issue I'm having is that I've always had with cats and dogs is that you can't control them because I'm like, how do I know if they're not, like, how do I know that they're fed? What do I do?
Yeah, you just don't.
I just put faith in them
They
as
have
if
thought
they're
bubbles
my
that appear over
actual
their
cat.
head. Yeah. It's really easy in Sims 4 though, and in all of the Sims games, like with pets, it's just really easy to forget they exist or to get bored with them and to neglect them.
Man, that sounds like a fun game.
They don't. I know. I just can't wait to see how we neglect these horses.
Can the cats and dogs die in the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Everything
think
dies
only of old age.
eventually.
Everything dies?
They can get sick, but if they
Oh.
get sick and you don't cure them, I think they just run away.
Everything
I don't
runs
think
away
they-
eventually.
Yeah, they run away to a farm upstate. Yeah, sure.
Right, exactly.
Just like every other pet.
They run away to Canada. I take them all.
Blue has so many pets. They don't know where they keep showing up, but they're here.
My mom still maintains that our pet goats were sent to a farm some 30 years later. She still maintains this to me.
Yeah. I have a dog.
And not just that they were sent to a farm, but they're still at that farm alive right now.
I keep asking if we can go visit them. It has not worked out yet.
No, can't do that.
There was a dog I had as a kid that we couldn't keep because it had, kind of behavioral issues. So Mom had to send it back to the pound, and she told me that she made sure that the dog got adopted and is now living on a farm. And I have not asked her if that is true, and I never will. I can't know. I just can't. But this is one of the things that like drives me crazy about Sims 4 is like they have a vet pack or whatever. It was, I think it was a game pack or something.
I thought it came with cats and dogs.
Oh, you're right. It did come with cats and dogs. So then the question is, will they expand upon that for horses? And the answer is almost definitely no. Because Sims 4 never goes back to content that they've already released and adds to it. They just pile on more broken content.
Oh, that's why the pronouns don't work. That has to like go back to the base game. And they don't want to.
I mean, yeah. That's part of the like thing was like they released pronouns and they released werewolves, right? Like at the same time, which is why I think we were joking that werewolves were like a queer update.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And they were.
And they were. They definitely were. But I think that they just had two different teams working on them and no one that works on Sims 4 talks to anyone else. So like the two updates were released and they were incompatible. Like, the pronouns barely worked in base game. They didn't work at all with the werewolves. Like, anything werewolf related, guaranteed your pronouns were going to be wrong. Which is just so annoying, because, like, they were released at the same time, so of course you're messing with them at the same time. And neither of them really work. Werewolves trying to go downstairs after the pack was first released, hilarious. They could not. It's insane, the bugs that Sims 4 packs are released with. Like, Get Famous was famously, released with a bug that stopped your Sims from being able to eat. So people just had to stop playing.
Yeah.
Which isn't to mention the packs that have released with houses that are missing toilets. Get Famous is one of those, and then that happened in Strangerville as well.
But in Strangerville, it's a feature.
Right. It's,
All right,
it's a
guys.
quote-unquote feature.
We've been talking about Sims for a long time.
There's a lot to talk about.
I know, but I think we're going to have to maybe cover it in other podcasts because Blue had some things to talk about too.
I mean, yeah, there's... The Ghost Trick is getting a port. I assume that to the Switch, it's not going to have 2 screens, so that means remake or something, right? I don't know.
Right, but the Switch does have a touch screen.
I mean, it does,
so
but it doesn't have
we'll figure it
2 screens.
Nah, they'll figure it out.
Anyways, I'm excited for that, because I haven't played it, and everyone says it's really good, and I am willing to believe them.
There's a GameCola playthrough of Ghost Trick.
Yeah, but I don't want to be spoiled.
Well, other people might not care about being spoiled, and they may want to watch the GameCola playthrough of Ghost Trick that I just told them
I
about.
thought you were just, telling me specifically.
We're not just hanging out having a fun conversation about video games. This is a performance for an audience, in fact.
Professional environment. So I think Anna and Paul have played Ghost Trick.
I don't know if I have or not. I can't actually remember.
Awesome. Well, then you can play it for the first time again.
Yeah.
That is how that works.
I played it a million years ago when it originally came out. There was a cute dog, I believe.
Yes.
And a dead body, but I believe that is all common knowledge of the game.
Yeah, that's the game.
Okay, so none of us...
That sounds like a lot of video games.
None of us have
cute dog and
actually
a dead
played this
body.
game.
Yeah.
I watched the GameCola playthrough.
Do you
Not in the last
remember
15
it?
years.
Okay, cool. Joe is the only person here who knows anything about this game.
Alright, you two, get talking.
Well, the problem with talking about this game is that it's basically all spoilers.
All spoilers?
Yeah.
That's insane. How do you have spoilers 10 minutes in?
Well, there's gameplay where you move around as a little ghost man possessing objects, but there's not much to talk about in that sort of sense.
Are you going
it's kind
to
of just, it's a fun
buy
thing.
it?
Probably not. It's not high on my... I've got so many games to get through. we'll get to this, but I'm still getting through Mega Man Battle Network, and that's going to take me 50 years.
Yeah,
I
we
think.
never reached a consensus on the global GameCola Battle Network platform.
Yeah, well, I have to finish playing a significant portion of the series, and I'm still on the first game, because it's 6 RPGs. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I might just have to take a break in between. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm still on the first one. But we'll get to that in games we've been playing in recent times. I think there were some other games coming out that you wanted to mention.
Oh,
Blue?
there's Ghost Rain. I think they changed the subtitle to Enigma Code. I don't know.
Ghost Rain Enigma Code. Those are 4 words.
It's, I think it's...
4 nouns, even.
I think it's the newest game by 2Kyo Games, which is the creator of Danganronpa and the creator of Zero Escape working together. But it might just be the Danganronpa guy on his own. I can't remember. Either way...
Well, it sounds like it's got a built-in audience,
yeah,
no matter what.
Yeah, it is very excited for it. Danganronpa, explains itself pretty easily. It's a murder mystery in a school. Things are weird. I have no idea. I've, watched 3 trailers of Enigma Code, and I have no idea what it's about. But I am excited to buy it and find out.
I'm excited for you, and all the other people who are excited, but I don't like murder, so...
I don't know, it might not even have murder.
I doubt it. It's gonna have murder.
I would imagine it comes out with an anti-murder perspective, not a pro-murder.
Right, but it contains it, which is like the key thing
I
that
see.
I'm not a fan of, regardless of your stance.
Well, that's why you don't play The Sims 4, because they take away your ability to eat, which is murder.
That's true.
Are there? We're coming up on the end, so we need to get to games we've been playing in recent times. Is there any other games you wanted to bring up, Blue?
I guess not. Those can wait. I can keep things for another day.
Okay. Alright. Let's see. Alright, I'm thinking of a number
27.
between 1 and 10.
83.
Everybody pick a number, and whoever gets closest goes first on games we've been playing in recent times.
1.
2.7.
5.
5.5.
Okay. So it's Anna, Blue, Leaf, Dan, Dana, and Paul. And you can guess what the number is. I think I did that right.
Is it 4?
It was not 4. It was 5.
Oh.
My brain went, that's not right, as soon as I said it.
Okay. Anna, what video games have you been playing in recent
I got
times?
sucked back into Skyrim. I moved, and so I have nothing else to do after unpacking and working, now that I'm mostly working from home still, then play Skyrim. I beat the main campaign with my last character, who was all destruction magic, so I could just stand a long ways away and just blast powerful spells at people. And now I'm back to doing my usual sneaky rogue thief. And it's more difficult because I have to be closer if they see me after I've shot them with a bow a few times.
Then just don't get seen.
It's
It's like your
hard.
job.
They walk near me. I can't do
It's
anything
like your whole
else.
thing.
They walk near me. What else am I supposed to do?
Be better at your job.
But that's the only game I've been playing, really. The special edition is the one I got like several years ago, and then the anniversary edition was like $10 like 2 months ago or whatever, so I picked it up because it was $10. It added a lot of stuff. It was great.
How are those two different?
Special edition is special. Anniversary edition is for an anniversary of 10 years, which happened in 2021.
So you wasted $10 is what I'm hearing.
No, I got content. It was good content too, I promise. It's not like Sims.
Okay. I'll believe you this time. Despite your
which one of those
track
versions
record
adds
of only
horses to the
playing
game?
games that hurt.
I think horses were available as vanilla Skyrim.
Nice. Okay, so
Wow.
Skyrim is clearly a better game than Sims. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that is almost definitely true.
but yeah,
I feel like Skyrim has to have more players than Sims.
maybe,
Well, it has
probably.
more
Doesn't mean it's a better
platforms.
game.
Like, you can play it on your fridge or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can't play Sims on your fridge because it'll just crash.
you'll get to the
No.
part where it
No,
says
your
EA,
food will
and
go
then it just
bad.
goes.
Yeah.
Your fridge is gonna blow
And then
up.
you won't be able to eat either.
Oh my goodness! The bugs are escaping into real life.
No, if you die in the game, you die in real life.
Oh no.
No. But yeah, still playing Skyrim for the first time, and since it came out in 2011, when I did want it, because my ex put Oblivion on my computer very legally, I was like, oh, cool, yeah, this is right near when Skyrim's going to be released, and there was no way it was going to run on my computer, so I never got it until 2020.
Wow.
I
Blue.
didn't play it until 2022.
Nice. I'm
Blue.
glad that you got
Blue.
to it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Shut up, Joe.
Blue? Blue?
I do have a quick
What video games have you
addendum.
been playing in recent
The
times?
game, I don't know what I called it, but it was called Enigma Archives Raincode, and now it's Master Detective Archives Raincode. And it is a 2Kyo Games game. So
That's what you've been playing?
No, I was just fixing my mistakes like
you
a
were correcting
responsible
an
man.
error. I see.
We don't
But
do
what
that
video
here.
games? Forget your journalistic integrity. Tell me about the video games you've been playing.
I played... Oh, I did... this isn't a video game, but I played a lot of Zero Escape in my life, and I went to a convention this weekend and did my first real-life escape room.
Ooh.
How did you do? Did you die?
No, well, okay, so technically, yes, but not because we did anything wrong. Like, there was a keypad at the end, and we put in the right code, and we tried it a few times, and it didn't work, and then we, like, ran out of time because we couldn't find anything else, and then the lady came in, and we asked her what the solution was, and she put in the same answer into the thing, but it's just a finicky keypad that only worked part of the time. So we did get it. And there were 4 of us, and apparently really good at them. And I thought we'd do more equal parts of the problem solving, but I did, like, almost all of it.
Wow.
It definitely feels like the kind of thing where, like, just by virtue of playing video games your whole life, you could become a savant, because escape rooms don't just market to hashtag gamers.
Yeah.
So they have to be solvable by people who don't have, like, video game puzzle knowledge.
Yeah.
And thus, I mean, like, we were down in the trenches, right? Like, with those Flash escape room games that just made 0 sense. And also, like, the adventure games, the original adventure games that inspired them too. Like,
yeah.
Convoluted puzzles. Like, I think the problem that people like us end up running into is that we think... We like be like, oh no, that's too obvious. That's the obvious misdirection. This must be how you actually solve the puzzle. It's like, no, you are just supposed to put the key in the lock. That's what it's for. It's not. It's not a secret.
I was worried that, like, I would be too stupid for a real life puzzle room, and then it would be, like, too different and too many things to, like, interact with. But no, I did very intuitively did it, basically. So that was cool, but now I'm addicted to them, so that's bad.
Was it mostly, like, logic puzzles? I haven't done an escape room. Or were there, like, physical puzzle aspects as well?
There was, like, a little display that had, like, a bunch of tape, and there were X's on it, and it made, like, a weird maze. And then we found, like, one of those, like, a long time ago, and you'd get, like, a McDonald's toy, and it would have, like, this little screen that had, like, weird blue and pink particles or whatever, and you put on, like, special glasses, and you look at it, and then it shows words or whatever. And so, like, I found glasses, looked at the thing, and then it was the same thing, but it had numbers, but all the pathways were open, so you had to follow along, you had to look to the side, and start at the beginning, and figure out which path was actually correct.
Neat.
Then there was, like, a Beyblade thing that we had to shove into, like, a little Beyblade maze and get it to the end. So there were a lot of cool things, but now I'm addicted.
That's cool, like, putting a Beyblade into a Beyblade thing was like a sentence that made sense.
It is.
What do you mean? What you do? You fight Beyblades, and if you win, you get a key? Like,
no,
what
like
is happening?
the little shovey thing that you put inside of it to make it go, but you don't make it go, you just make it move without going. You, like, drag it along. It was, like, a very thin track, so you had to... It's like... Imagine you have like, a squishy thing and a knife, and you had to shove the knife into the squishy thing and drag it through the maze, I guess. I don't know.
What part of Beyblades are squishy?
No. I'm just comparing them because I'm telling you there's a key thing that you put in a Beyblade. Like, it's a little lock-in key.
Yeah, the little, like, piece of plastic that has, like, teeth in it, and you stick it in.
Yeah. Except it was, like, more of, like, a handle.
Okay.
It was,
Right, because it's got a handle at the end. Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, it was really cool, but now I want to do one all the time for the rest of my life. And it's going to be bad for my wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Darn.
And also, you live in Canada, which means that they're probably not close to each other.
What?
Things in general, but specifically escape rooms.
I mean, my old roommate works in an escape room, so there's at least one place in the city that does them.
I can't believe Joe is just attacking Canada like that.
I know.
Oh yeah, Paul, because you've always been so nice to Canada.
My friends to the north, of course.
As for wow. As for video games I've been playing, I finished the Ratchet and Clank game.
Cool.
Were you playing along with that episode of the GameCola podcast?
No, definitely not. I was playing the new one, which came out a long time after that. And yeah, it was good. Would recommend, but still like the other one better. Though there was a free puzzle game. Well, it wasn't free, but it launched on PS Plus, and it was free or it might be part of the subscription, like in general. It wasn't a monthly title. It was called Humanity. It's a lot like Lemmings, I think. That's what it's called, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. There is a video game called Lemmings.
It's like that one, but you play as a dog who is tasked by God to help humanity solve a bunch of puzzles, and then it becomes a lot more than that. Like, it becomes a meditation on war and stuff, and every time you, like, think you've figured out, okay, so this is what the rest of the game is going to be like, it just, like, turns into a completely different game. So, yeah. There was only one bad puzzle that took up, I think that was most of my playtime. I spent, like, 12 hours overall just coming back to that puzzle, and it wasn't, like, I finally just caved in and had to look up, like, the answer, and it wasn't like that's what I was missing. It was yeah, I knew that was what I had to do, I just didn't guess the right amount of turns I had to put in the map. But the rest of the game is really, really good.
Well, I'll make sure to turn the map the appropriate amount of times if I ever play it.
Good luck.
No faith in me. All right.
It was a bad puzzle. And then I've been playing the AI sequel, AI the Nirvana Initiative. And that one's really good, aside from the main character complaining about how these, like, occult things are super impossible, as he's, like, telepathically jumping into people's brains to read their dreams and stuff. And also, suspects keep going, like, meet me at this location tonight, and I'll tell you a little secret. And then he goes there, and then he finds their body, because they've been murdered. And then it just keeps happening, and he just keeps, like, going, yeah, okay, I see no problems with this. Surely nothing can go wrong.
This time, they will tell me the secret. Before they get murdered.
So I'm a little bit irritated with the main character, but...
Well, in games like, in that genre now, there's going to be, like, some weird plot twist that explains why they're like, oh, he has secret amnesia, and if anyone tells him that he's going to be told a secret, he forgets all bad things that happen when
that is, like, actually,
telling.
like, something they've hinted at. Like, at the beginning of the game, he does, like, an All Might impersonation, and, like, big My Hero Academia reference, and I was like, okay, that was weird. And then immediately after, another character is like, yeah, sorry about that. He gets weird sometimes. He's got mental problems. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, so that little joke is going to be plot critical later. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's what I play.
Dan Leaf Dana. I think I'm gonna hit every single combination of those three names
You
at
are.
some point. What video games recent?
Well, in my typical fashion, I have been playing a video game and then also watching my significant other play a video game. So the game that I have been playing is My Life in Sandrock, which is the sequel, sort of, to My Life in Portia, which I also played. And My Life in Sandrock is very good. And I think that I played a lot of My Life in Portia and enjoyed it a lot, but did eventually sort of rage quit. And My Life in Sandrock hasn't necessarily fixed the issue that annoyed me in Portia, but it's more bearable. So basically, like, you have
Wait,
to
can you just give a quick summary of the video game genre
uh,
or style
Stardew Valley-esque, like farm
Okay.
sim. You play as a builder who moved into the town, so you're doing more building than you are farming. You gather resources, process the resources. Sometimes you just need those. Sometimes you turn those into things. There is a plot. So Sandrock's. I don't remember Portia's plot like at all. But Sandrock's plot is that it's a desert, sand, rock. Very clever.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
Some might even say redundant.
Yeah, some might even say
Not
redundant.
only redundant, but repetitive, and people have heard it before.
Yeah, very good point.
Also, we have sandstone already exists, and I don't know if that's a point in favor or against.
I don't think sandstone exists in the game, at least that I've collected. So there's that.
Okay.
You come to town, it's a desert, everyone's like sad to be there because it's a desert, but they're trying to like make it work. They want to greenify it, and you may or may not help them with that goal. There's also a bandit who's like wreaking havoc. The game is currently in beta, but the full release is happening in exactly 3 months from the recording date. So it's happening on September 26th. Sorry to date this podcast.
Yeah, go ahead and just tell exactly when we're recording.
Yeah, just bleep that out.
Happy Pride.
Yeah, happy Pride, everyone. But the mechanic that drives me crazy a little bit is like there's this like you have to research items, and that in and of itself isn't bad, but the game kind of like holds your hand through the first like research things. Like you can't do XYZ until you've researched this thing. So you know I have to research this. And then you reach this, and it takes like 6 in-game days for a single research thing to be complete. It takes a long time. But you reach a point where you don't need to be researching anything anymore to progress. But if you don't make sure that you're researching things, then you'll fall behind. So when it next asks you to have things, it could take up to like 3 in-game weeks to get down to the item that you'd need to research. And I did recently run into this problem where like I had been trying to be like super on top of like researching the right things, but you don't know what it's going to need you to do next. So you kind of just have to guess. And the thing that it needed me to have next was not a thing that I had researched in the downtime. So I had to wait 6 in-game days. Well, it was more than that because I had a research project in the queue that was irrelevant. And once you've started them, you can't stop them. So I had to wait 3 in-game days for that one to finish and then 6 in-game days for the next one to complete. You can speed it up, but it costs like a bit of an absurd amount of resources. In my time in Portia, there just wasn't really anything for you to do in between, like realizing that you need this thing and waiting for it. And so I reached a point where my option was to basically just sleep over and over. And I just didn't want to do that. Like it just kind of annoyed me that the game would want me to do that. So, I think it's my time in Sandrock. I think I said my life, but I think it's my time. In Sandrock, there is a lot more stuff for you to entertain yourself with while you wait. But it's a little weird when like the quest that you've been given, everyone's telling you how urgent it is, and everyone in the town is like kind of sick, like obviously sick, and you just want to help them, but you have to wait 6 in-game days plus 3 to get your stupid thing that you didn't know you were going to need.
This is so important. We need this now.
I've done a lot of complaining, but I really do love this game. Like it's actually like a really good game. They've improved a lot of the issues that Portia had. They've made it a lot more enjoyable. The people are a lot more enjoyable. Portia was kind of a nightmare to get your head around. Sandrock, I felt like, does better at helping you kind of get your head around what you're supposed to do. That said, the tutorial still isn't great, but also it is still in beta. So I'm looking forward to the full release. I'm terrified that they're going to delete all my save data, but games don't tend to do that anymore upon full release. But if they do, I'm just going to stop playing. It for the like scale of how freaking grindy this game is, it took me, I think it was something like 30 in-game hours to get a mount in the game. I've played something...
Wait, in-game hours or out-game hours?
Well, like Steam tracking my playtime.
Okay, because that's different, because you've been saying it's like 6 in-game days, and you said 30 in-game hours, which I would think would not be a very long amount of time.
I think I'm now at something like 50 hours played of this game, and I am still having a good time. They've kind of introduced like dungeon sort of things, which from my memory Portia didn't have, or if it did have them, it didn't have them in a way that I liked. The combat's still kind of iffy, but I feel like it's better than it was in Portia. They really fixed a lot of things, and it's cool. And I also think that they've started to foreshadow what they're going to do next, which is exciting. So, good stuff. I highly recommend it, especially if you like really grindy, like Stardew-esque, like go around, talk to villagers. My intention was to date around, but oops, I fell in love, and I'm married. And upon full release...
when that happens.
I know. Upon full release, I will be able to have children with this person, and I think they're supposed to help out around the farm or something. So it's cool. It's cool. Like you start the game, and this isn't like crazy weird for a video game, but you start the game and you can't even like kill the things that are right outside your house. And now at the point that I am in the game, I kill them in one hit, and it's just nice to like feel that progression. And I like to grind a lot, so it's very grindy. It's a very grindy game. And my partner has been playing the new Final Fantasy, and it looks really fun. That's all.
Ball.
Hey, yeah, so after Blue went, I kind of really just want to talk about Room Escapes now. But I could go on for the next 20 minutes about that. But I will refrain for now.
Next time.
No. But what I've been playing is the Guns version of Skyrim, the hot new game Fallout New Vegas, which was free on the Epic Store a couple of weeks ago.
I got that.
As of today, June 26, 2023. I had originally played it when I came out, and for some reason I was super, super bored by it. I do not remember why, although it might have had something to do with the environments being just so brown and gray and totally empty and boring. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
I actually
that was the time period of games
absolutely
back then. That was peak game art.
I guess,
in
but
that time period.
Fallout 3 had come out too, and I don't know, for some reason that game felt a little more vibrant from me, but maybe that's just because I was very familiar with the area in which the game was set, so it kind of spoke to me a little more. So far, I still haven't gotten why everyone says New Vegas is the best of the Fallout games. It's fun, I'm having fun, but it's not, like, incredible. I guess maybe I'm judging it too much by 2023 standards.
Yeah.
Have
you considered that you're just wrong?
I'm wrong about so much. Considering I recently just discovered that I love the television show Joey, yes, I believe I am wrong about everything. So there's that. But no, what I was kind of surprised by going into this game was I kind of thought I was over big violence in games. Like, I'm like, all right, it's a shooting game. Maybe I'll put everything in charisma. Maybe I can avoid doing a lot of fighting. But then, like, as soon as some random dude just starts shooting at me, I just, like, pulled out my pistol and blew his head off, and it was great. So, I don't know. I thought I was cool and non-violent, but I learned that I was wrong about that. I've been having fun playing Fallout New Vegas.
Nothing wrong with being violent in video games, as long as you're not also violent in real life.
This is true.
What, like, Hades is for, and that's a good game.
Hades is great.
Yeah, I guess. I feel disappointed in myself in a way, but that's okay.
Don't feel disappointed.
It's okay, Paul.
Oh, thank you.
This is the one thing we'll let you get
Anything
away
else,
with.
You're out of here.
We criticize you on everything else.
Now let's talk about Canada. No,
you're okay.
I was also, if anyone here listened, or here on the podcast, or more likely in the audience was listening to a podcast, I was playing Live Alive or Live Alive or whatever, depending on your regional accent. But I got to the end of that. I got to the end of it, and I was like, all right, so this is the part where it's going to be fun and interesting, right? Because it hadn't been for the rest of the game. And the end wasn't really that fun either. So I got to the very last sequence of the game and stopped playing. I will say that I wasn't playing like the new the new remake that just came out. I was playing an English translation of the original Super Nintendo version. So maybe the remake is better. I don't know, but this was a game that it's like the sort of game where you keep playing because you think it's going to get good. Everyone loves this game. People who played it, they talk about it and they say it's really good. It's got to be good. I'm getting there. And then you just never get there. You get to the end and you realize that the fun of the game was a lie.
Oh.
That was my experience.
More like live a lie.
And I've been playing hockey, a real life game. That's been fun.
Oh,
Wow.
That's right. I'm Mr. Sports now.
Wow.
With your real life body.
Sportsman.
In June?
No, I was taking a beginner's class that ended last month, I think. Yeah,
okay,
it started.
I was gonna say June is an interesting time to be playing hockey.
What do you mean?
That's true,
I'm
especially
sure in Canada
since it is
they play it.
104 degrees out right now. As
It's not
established
like
in the
you
previous-
play hockey outside usually. I think
Well, if
hockey
you were
is pretty
here,
exclusively
there'd be
indoors.
hockey rinks to play it inside.
Yeah.
There are a lot
We're
of hockey
always
rinks
prepared
in
in
the
Canada.
area in which I live. I'm like 3 hours from the Canadian border, so we get some of the spillover here. So there's a lot of ice rinks around me.
Spillover of the ice.
Yes.
The Canadians just send you the ice they don't want.
Yeah, it's cool. A lot of people around here just commute on Zambonis. Don't really hear that about upstate New York. It's true.
Yeah. I believe that. That and
Anyway,
snow
that's
sleds.
Yes, and snow dogs. Sorry. That's what I've been up to. Training my golden retriever to pull my sled. That's been my video game lately.
Can't do that in Sims 4.
And that's why it's a bad
Another
game.
Garbage
reason
game.
It's awful.
Yeah.
I guess also speaking of watching your partners play game, my wife Lizzo has been playing the new Zelda thing that's out. And every time I look at it, I'm just like, this is not a game I would enjoy in any possible scenario.
My partner really did not like the new Zelda. And I want to try it, but I just do not have a Switch. And am not going to get one. So, I mean, he emulated
Can't borrow
it.
theirs.
And
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
My favorite parts are when I look up and I see her just swinging a sword that has a giant rock on the end of it, or wielding a spear that appears to have a second spear duct taped to the end of it to make Mega Spear, and I'm just like, I don't understand anything that's going on in this game. Sorry, you probably already talked about Zelda on the podcast.
So
We've actually been holding off on it.
Oh, really?
It sounds like we're gonna need you back so you can complain about it during the episode where they praise on it.
I've said most of the things I have to say about it already, I think.
Okay, well then we'll have to get Leaf's partner to
sword with a boulder,
explain
looks
why
kind
it's
of boring.
And my partner can come in and be like, I am having a great time.
No, we're saving Zelda. Zelda needs its own dedicated podcast with how much people are going to want to say about it.
We invite
and also I
two.
still haven't played it yet. I'm
when
still
you
playing
do,
Mega
we
Man.
invite those two to explain why you should hate it.
I'm sorry if I spoiled Mega
I'm
Spear to you.
playing Mega Man Battle Network. I was aware of Mega Spear.
Okay, good.
Has anybody here played Mega Man Battle Network before?
I played the first one.
No.
They really just throw you in.
Yeah.
It's a little wild that it has this whole intricate system for the combat, for the RPG combat, and they just toss you right in there into the world.
I loved it.
Almost zero explanation for anything. I picked it up. It kind of makes me wonder, like, how did kids play this? Because like I could pick it up,
and it's kind of nice when I was in grade 3 or something.
There's depth in it. Like, from the get-go. But because basically, it's like you have a set of, like, 30 chips, which you could almost consider, like, playing cards. And every single chip is, like, a move you can do. But also, every single chip has a letter associated with it. Like, literally A through Z. And basically, at the beginning of each quote-unquote turn, you get 5 random chips of your 30. And you can only use, in that turn, a set of chips that are the same letter.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if there's 2 cannons. If it's a cannon with the letter A next to it and a cannon with the letter B next to it, you can't use both of them that turn. So you have to do this weird statistical thing of like, all right, well, okay, I'm going to have these sets of these letters and these sets of these letters, and this is how they're going to synergize. And you don't get experience, but you are graded on your performance, and you get better rewards in each battle for doing the battle better, like doing it faster and taking less damage. And yeah, I'm a couple bosses through the first game. It's a school setting, so it's like, you know, oh, you're living in a small town and all your friends are your next door neighbors and also go to the same school as you. Yeah, they don't spend any time introducing your friends.
Yeah, it's like Bakugan, but not as in depth with those characters.
I'm a little sad Jetty's not here, because I'm sure he'd be interested in talking about this, but it's what it reminded me was like Metabots. I've only watched the TV show of Metabots, but it felt very similar. Like a lot of the character archetypes, down to there being a rich kid rival also there.
I have no experience with Metabots, so I'm sorry.
I also watched, when the games came out, Capcom posted, like, the anime on YouTube, and so I've actually watched some of those episodes, and they spend a lot more time each of those characters gets, like, a 20-minute episode dedicated to introducing them, and here it's just like, oh yeah, they're just all here, and
they exist.
They just exist, and there's, like, you walk with your childhood friend to school once, and then, like, that's all the characterization I've gotten so far.
You see those people? They were born.
Mm-hmm. It's also like the whole thing about it is like you've got this like little, they call it a PET, a personal terminal, and it's got a little person in it. One of your person is Mega Man, and you plug it into things, and those things are connected to the internet, and you can walk around the internet. But like the internet it's this weird period of the 2000s where like the internet was a place you could go, and it's like you have to walk between computers to get to places, and there's like a sequential list of computers that are like next to each other in the physical space, and it is a very mid 2000s way of thinking about the internet.
Yep.
Pretty sure there's a Disney movie that has that plot.
I mean, it was like that was like every single cartoon that had an episode where they went into the internet.
It was all media at the time.
Was like this. But it's a whole video game series, and I'm kind of interested to, like, the oven is connected to the internet, the piano is connected to the internet. Like,
that's the world
you
that
talk
we're
about internet. But like even now, like even with our whole Internet of Things world that we live in right now, like there are still like appliances that are not connected to the internet. I don't know. It's a little...
Are there?
They don't have browsers.
Sure. I mean,
I guess. I don't know. It's...
So for some cases, having an appliance that, whether it connects, over Bluetooth or internet, I don't know. Because I feel like some things will kind of just use Bluetooth.
Yeah.
But I know that has helped, in some cases, the accessibility of certain appliances. Which is neat. But yeah, I don't know if I can think of an appliance that like you conceivably, like, I guess I don't know of an electric water kettle that connects to the internet, but I'm sure there is one. like that has an app that you program or schedule like when it's going to turn on or whatever.
Sure, but like I think part of it too is that, right, like you can think of how that might be useful useful in an accessibility standpoint.
Mhm.
But then there's also a level of, okay, but does everyone have one, or is this just an accessibility tool?
Well, and that
right? Like it's
the
not
whole
like
issue of like people won't make things accessible because it's like, well, this isn't, practically useful for your typical able-bodied neurotypical person. That's a whole other tangent, but yeah.
Sure, but no, I mean like these are like household appliances. Like
Right.
this would be personal to you and your level of accessibility.
Right.
Is what we're getting off track
I
a
know.
bit here. It's just interesting how how they imagine the internet being integrated with everything, and which things they choose to have connected to the internet and which things they choose not to have connected to the internet.
I don't understand why I can't play Sims 4 on my water kettle.
And of course the answer is whatever is convenient for whatever little narrative they want to tell.
Right.
Anyway, I'll probably have more to say. I need to play more of it to get more in the weeds on it, but I'm having a good time so far. But it stands. We still need to see if I'll last 6 games in a row or if I'll take a break. They did put original Harvest Moon SNES on Nintendo Switch Online, and I might take a peek at that just to see like where did Stardew Valley start?
Yeah.
Where is the beginning thread that got us to Stardew Valley?
I've heard that.
Was it good?
I've heard it's not these days. That it was good at the time. Like I played a little bit of it. I never owned the game, but I had a friend who did. So, it's kind of hard, right?
The SNES Harvest Moon?
I think so. I don't know.
Anyway, yeah. So maybe I'll play that and check in on that.
Do it. I've heard it hasn't aged well, but it definitely is a part of history.
Well, most things are. That's not like a compliment.
Plenty of things that have been lost to history. I can't name any.
Sure.
But there are plenty.
They're there.
They're there. That's all we know about them.
I think we're pretty well deep into this podcast, so I think it's about time to wrap things up. Thank you for listening to this episode of the GameCola podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to check us out on our actual internet website, GameCola.net. You can check us out on our YouTube channel, GC.net, the letter G, letter C, the word dot, the word net, or at GameCola on YouTube. Find us on Facebook, Twitter. Get us on Discord. The links are in descriptions of things. You can find it on the website, podcast description, video description, something like that. Hang out with us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. You can email us at podcast@gamecola.net. You can check out Paul again on a podcast. That's where he hangs out these days. Thanks again, Paul, for coming.
Yes, special thanks to Paul for coming and being our rock.
Yay!
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That was a good pun and no one cared.
No, I got it. Don't worry.
Rate us highly. If you got to the end of this podcast, you should rate us highly because you like this podcast. I mean,
rate us highly.
There's no other reason to be here.
On what
Rate
platform?
us highly, 5 stars. iTunes. You can rate people 5 stars on iTunes, or you can click the thumbs up button on the YouTube
but
video.
That's not rating
I believe they call that liking.
I mean,
I don't think iTunes still exists.
It's not
dislike
rating
for the
lowly.
Engagement, we don't care. Just engage.
Be our friend.
No, I personally want thumbs up. If you do thumbs down, you'll crush my spirit.
Wow, the last review on Apple Podcast is from 2019.
Oh gosh, get on that, guys.
Get on it, guys. Review the podcast. And rate it 5
kind
stars.
Words only. Or Joe will cry.
Absolutely.
I will
Joe
also
will cry.
Yeah.
Just in case
Thank you for
want
listening.
Joe to cry.
Have a wonderful time of day wherever it is, whenever it is you are listening to this podcast, and we will see you next month. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Joe will cry.
Joe will
Joe's
cry.
crying.
Joe, it's okay.
Sounds like someone thumbs downed the
Oh
podcast.
no. It's not even
Oh,
up
no.
yet.
Oh no, it was me. It was me in the future. Oh no.
Oh.